we've had probably 4 cases where people have gone on a final expense lead. So they set their income parameters and they were inside this income. They were going to sell them a $10,000 or $15,000 final expense case. And they started digging. My partner, Rick Rooks, found a guy that had $1.2 million in a house that had 3 cars on blocks in the front yard. You could see through the front door. We had another agent that went in a Section 8 housing. She had $850,000. We had another guy that he did a lead and actually knocked on the door to the lady right next to him in the apartment complex, $1.3 million.
Wow.
He made a $55,000 commission on one sale. Helped her out.
All right, guys. Hey, today I'm doing a great, awesome interview with my friend Todd, and we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of agents are leaving on the table, and it could be for a variety of different reasons, but we want to kind of dispel some myths. And so we want to talk about annuities, because a lot of you guys who sell final expense and Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare supplements, and then when I say Medicare Advantage, I mean even dual eligible plans, you could potentially be leaving money on the table if you're not asking a few simple questions to start seeing what's going on in that household. So Todd, thanks so much for being on here, man. I know you're the annuity expert with Heartland, OneLife, and you guys have been doing an amazing job with basically with your annuity division. And what I really love about how you guys train on annuities and talk about annuities is that it makes sense, because growing in this business, growing in this career that I've been in for the last 14, 15 years now, I was around annuity producers a lot, but they were the type that would be looking for the big cases, the big money, right? And your approach is completely opposite. You're basically saying, I would rather go and get a bunch of the small cases that end up adding up to millions in production at the end of the year, because it's being left on the table, right?
Exactly.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, we think that the best annuity lead is a final expense or a Medicare lead. You go in there, you talk to people, you do your normal job, and you ask one question, and that uncovers the annuity opportunity. I mean, before I got into it, I thought annuities for doctors and lawyers and rich people that had all this money just stashed aside.
Yeah.
It's not. It's retirement accounts. Retirement accounts must be income. Janitors have retirement accounts. Plumbers have retirement accounts. Teachers have retirement accounts. Those are the average everyday folks we're talking to for final expense, for Medicare, for Medicare Advantage. They'll have money stashed aside, and they don't know what to do with it when they retire. I hear people all the time, oh, I didn't know what to do, so I just cashed it in and I paid off my house.
Yeah.
Well, you had $150,000 in there. Now you got bumped to the highest tax bracket. It wasn't designed to pay off your house. It's designed as income. So we teach people how to just ask a couple questions, and then they are the retirement income specialist, because all you need is a life license, and you can be a retirement income specialist to help people protect their funds and never get a loss.
And I tell people, that's one of the things I feel that the perception that, as an example, final expense agents, a lot of times they feel like, okay, well, we're working with a lower income demographic. Medicare Advantage, especially when you're in the dual eligible niche, obviously you're working with a lower income demographic. But what people don't seem to realize is that even they, a lot of times, have accounts that you could end up helping them work with for income, for lifetime income in a lot of cases. So there's a great story you guys tell. I want you to tell it here, if you could, about how you guys uncovered a situation like that with a low income person.
Well, we mainly work with OneLife, and OneLife does final expense. They do millions of dollars each year. So we've been taking their agents and teach them how to ask some questions. Now, will every client have a 401k? No. 1 out of 15 might. We've had probably 4 cases where people have gone on a final expense lead. So they set their income parameters and they were inside this income. They were going to sell them a $10,000 or $15,000 final expense case. And they started digging. My partner, Rick Rooks, found a guy that had $1.2 million in a house that had 3 cars on blocks in the front yard. You could see through the front door. We had another agent that went in a Section 8 housing. She had $850,000. We had another guy that he did a lead and actually knocked on the door to the lady right next to him in the apartment complex, $1.3 million.
Wow.
He made a $55,000 commission on one sale. Helped her out.
Wow. That's amazing.
These are all final expense leads. You just have to ask the question. You can never judge a book by its cover. The people that are retiring now, their parents grew up at the end of the Great Depression. So their parents grew up, their grandparents saved, they told their kids to save. So their whole family just says, okay, let's save. You might be making $6 an hour, but hey, save 10% of that to your retirement. So they just grew up saving and saving and saving. And these people, maybe they didn't have the $100,000, $200,000 jobs. They're making $30,000 a year, but they're saving $5,000 or $10,000 a year. You do that for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, you got a pile of money sitting there. And I love the final expense because they're like, well, I don't have a broker. I don't have that guy, or I don't have that girl. I don't have a money manager because I only have $75,000. They won't touch me unless I have 200. So the final expense people are the best because they don't know what to do. And you can come in there and protect their money. You're doing a great job for them. All my clients lost zero during this COVID crisis.
Wow.
I don't know how just so as a quick summary, how annuities work. We work for the fixed index side. We don't like the variable ones. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on there, a lot of fees. The way the annuities I work with, here's how it works. You have $100,000, stock market crashes, you have $100,000. When it goes up, you get 75% of the market. So they cap your gains to protect you against your losses. So you don't get the full gain, you get about 75% of it, but when the market crashes, you just get a zero that you don't lose a penny. It's that simple.
Is essentially, yeah, you're always locking in your gains, because even if you put 100,000 in and you gain 40,000 over a period of X amount of years, and then the market starts to crash, that 40,000 is locked in, right?
Exactly. We like to say annuities have style, safety, tax deferral, good yield. Bank CDs yield about 0.5%. Stock market yields about 8%. Annuities are right there in the middle. You got liquidity, so you can still touch it, or you can have lifetime income. You have estate advantages. So if someone passes away, the money avoids probate court and goes right to the beneficiary. And then what you said right there, annual reset. It's like a wrench. It can only go one direction. It locks your gains in, locks your gains in, locks your gains in. I mean, I got a stock that I bought for $50. Now it's worth $1,000, but I don't have that money yet until I sell it. It can crash and burn tomorrow for all I know. Annuities lock your gains in every single year.
I love that. I love that. Now, I think that one of the things that maybe prevent a lot of people from trying to learn about annuities is A, maybe they don't know where to go, but B, maybe it can be intimidating, the idea of it, because again, I think the perception is when you hear about annuity producers, a lot of times it's that they're going after the big money, so that the products themselves are going to be more complicated, harder to explain, harder to learn, harder to market. What do you say to all that?
I mean, it's really simple. I look at it like this. Say for someone's got 100,000, let's call that a cow. A cow makes milk. We gamble the milk. We never gamble the cow. So a few years, we spill some milk. The cow makes more milk, and we gamble that the next year, and then it gets 2 or 3 times the milk. The cow just gets fatter, and it makes more milk, and we gamble it. We spilt some milk, but oh well. The next year, we get 2 or 3 times our milk. So we never gamble the cow. We only gamble the milk. So the principle is always preserved there. We're only gambling the interest we get off that principle. So even if you put them in the worst annuity that you don't know anything about, if the market crashed and burned, they didn't lose anything. My dad, he's like, oh, I'm super safe. My broker's got me in this stuff. He lost $200,000.
Wow.
I'm like, Dad, how are you safe? Well, he said it was. Well, yeah, they said it was. I'm like, Dad, imagine you're the coach of a football game and you're winning in the 4th quarter by 2 touchdowns. Okay? And you're the coach. Now, are you going to throw a Hail Mary right now? He's like, no. I go, what about a flea flicker? How about you do one of those flea flicker plays? No. I go, why not? Well, because it's risky. I go, exactly, Dad. You're winning the football game. You've got your 100,000, million, your whatever. You're winning the game because you have this retirement income set up. Now's not the time to be risky. Now's the time to protect your lead. Give the football to the running back. Let him run out the clock and win the game. You are winning the game right now. Don't be risky with it. So even the worst annuity in the world will be safe and they'll never lose a penny.
I love these analogies you keep throwing out there, man. First with the cow's milk and now with the football game, and it makes sense because again, being that I've been around this industry a long time, the way that you lay that out is it's beautiful in its simplicity, and I think that I guess a lot of how you probably talk to your clients is the same way, right? You really do take a product like this and you just explain it in a very easy to understand, relatable form, so that they get it and they understand why the value that you're bringing.
Exactly. What you don't need to overcomplicate things. You know, it just when the market goes up, you get 75% of it. When the market goes down, you don't lose anything.
I
Keep it
think
simple.
I think another potential maybe intimidation factor is, when we're in the Med Sup market or the Medicare Advantage market or even the final expense market, we normally have multiple different carriers that we're going to be offering this same type of product. And obviously with annuities, it's the same thing. Multiple different carriers offering an annuity, a fixed index annuity, but there's going to be little nuances that are different between them. And so they're like, well, man, I don't want to mess up and put them in the wrong place. How do you alleviate that?
So what I can do for your team and for anybody, I can run all the illustrations. You tell me your scenario. Hey, I came across this lady. She retired. She was a teacher. She's got this. She wants income in 5 years from now, or she doesn't want to touch it. She wants to leave it to her kids. I'll scroll through all the companies, and I can send them an illustration unique to their client. So they don't need to learn 50 companies. That's what my job is. I can do a Zoom call like this. I can show them how to sell it, how to present it, and we'll just keep it simple. But they don't need to learn the ins and outs of everything. They just have to know that, hey, when the market crashes, they don't get anything. They don't lose anything. There's no fees. Nothing comes out. But when the market's up, you get 50% of it. You get 75% of it, depending on the state and the product. That's all they need to know. It's super simple. There's no risk at all with annuities. And that's why we love them, because now is not the time to be risky in your retirement. Now is the time to protect and preserve and distribute your retirement accounts. And unlike a broker, there's no fees involved. Most brokers like to hoard money because the more they hoard, the more they get paid on. They get 1% to 2%, whether the market goes up or the market goes down, and they charge you to buy a stock, they charge you to sell a stock. They're eating away at their principal while they're making money. We don't do that. We're not a broker. So a lot of times agents are always like, well, they got a broker. How do I fight against that? That is the harder thing. But just tell them, hey, when you worked at your ABC job and now you're retired, right? Yeah. Well, do you still go to your ABC job and hang out with your employees? Well, no, because I'm retired now. Exactly. Now that you're retired, you need a different money guy. Your broker was great. They helped you build up this account, but now you need a different guy. I protect and preserve and distribute retirement accounts. I am a retirement income specialist. And you say I'm a retirement income specialist at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. They ask about they say something about, hey, I had a 401k here. Oh yeah, by the way, I help people avoid that 50% penalty on your retirement account. You throw little things like that out there, like, oh, well, how does that work? Great, let me take some notes and get to my team, and then I'll do all the work and I'll help you guys out. But if you call yourself a retirement income specialist and you just ask them about the retirement, you will find opportunities.
So we're talking about, and again, that's basically how you're branding yourself, because regardless of whether you're going to go and do a final expense presentation, a Medicare presentation, if you go in ahead of time, my name is Eric Fierro, I'm a retirement income specialist, you've already kind of started teeing it up in their mind psychologically that you can have these conversations if need be.
Exactly. And when you're doing final expense, you might say, hey, do you guys have any programs that might act like final expense when you pass away? Like, did you have a retirement account that acts like a lump sum of money when you pass away? Oh, you do? Great. You make some notes. How about we turn that into income? Maybe you're doing Medicare. I always try to find out if people applied for extra help, because you got to check out their assets. Oh, well, in order to get extra help, your assets have to be under a certain level. When you worked at the factory, did they have a retirement plan? Oh, they did? Oh, okay. Let me make some notes here.
I
when
love
you're talking to them, someone's a teacher. Oh man, I know teachers have great retirement accounts. Did you contribute to the 401k while you were a teacher there? Oh, perfect. That's great. You just tee up little things like that. I'm a retirement income specialist. When you fact find, when you find out about their job, you throw in little teasers there, and you're just making notes and dropping seeds the whole time.
I love that. I like especially what you talked about, how you look for people who apply for extra help. Like most people wouldn't think to do that. They wouldn't think to go, someone who has extra help, they immediately think they don't have any money. But again, that's what I love about how you guys are approaching this, because you're completely counter to that. And like, yeah, that's exactly who we're going to go talk to, because a lot of them actually, even though they didn't make a lot of money, they sure as hell saved a lot of money. And
Exactly.
There's a lot of potential there. I love that. So talk a little bit about for agents, because then, with that, I know agents have probably heard about that there's some money to be made when you sell annuities. How does the commission structure normally work generically, I guess, if we're,
Well, the agent gets paid up front. Let me actually dive in a little deeper here. So the insurance company buys corporate A bonds with their money. Okay, so the client has $100,000. The insurance company goes out there and buys corporate A bonds. They take the agent's commission out of it. They take their profits out of it. They take their expenses out of it. and whatever's left is the fixed rate. So even though they spread your commission out over a 5-year, 10-year, 7-year time period, they'll give you that up front. So there's a nice chunk of commission there for the agent, but it never comes out of the client's pocket. They give $100,000, the client has $100,000 in their account. So it doesn't affect the client. So it really doesn't matter if you make 10 cents or $10 million, it doesn't affect the client at all, and you're doing a good thing for the client. But
That's great.
I kind of call it whale hunting. You go out there, you're fishing every day to find your final expense, your Medicare. This pays the bills, and then you just ask them, and you'll find a whale every now and then, and that can double your income by finding 1 or 2 clients a year.
Yeah. You've actually, what was it, last year or some, you had a pretty good year just doing some whale hunting, just asking these simple questions, right?
I did 2.25 million last year, and I'm on about 827 this year. So hopefully I'll end up over $1 million. My goal is to write $1 million every single year. And that's just extra money for me because my med subs, I got about 500-600 med sub clients that pay my bills.
Yeah.
But I try to write 20 to 50 med subs per year because I'm in the office full time, and then about $1 million with annuities every year.
So what would you say, I guess, because in annuity world, like just like with Medicare and final expense, I'm assuming annuities have kind of like a street level, right? Is it, as they call it, like a street level commission that they give to agents, like an entry level commission they give them?
Yeah, usually that's 4 to 6, 7% or somewhere for street for a brand new guy. And if you have writers that do 5 million or 10 million, or they're at a recruiting shop, there's a little bit of override they can make on top of that. But let's say 5% on average is a good street level commission for an agent.
Okay, cool. So that means if they bring in, like you were mentioning earlier, $100,000 case, then they would get paid 5% of that 100,000 upfront.
Exactly.
Even though, like you said, the company actually spreads that over 5 years as far as, you know, basically taking their loss, I guess, and paying out the agent, but the agent doesn't get to experience it. They get it right away. So how long does a case normally take to get issued when you write one?
You kind of cut out there for a second, but you're saying how long does it take to issue?
Yeah.
I'd probably say 4 to 8 weeks probably, because it's really hard getting the money from the other people. You know, you can fill out the application and everything's good, but the broker gets it. He's trying to save the case. Or, you know, you fill out the forms and the company's like, oh, we never got them. You're like, well, your fax here says that you got them and someone signed for him. Well, nope, he doesn't work here. We don't have that. You know, so you have to fight to get the money from the other company, and they make you jump through all these hoops. So getting, you know, I did a small one for my mom for $18,000, and they're like, oh, we mailed it a month ago and Equitable doesn't have it yet. I'm like, come on. Why are you mailing it? Why are you not certifying it? Why did you throw it in the normal mail? You're just writing a $18,000 check with a 29-cent stamp on it. You know, like, come on. So getting the money is hard. So that's the longest process. The app can be cleared in a day or two, but just getting the money might take 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I met somebody, they're like, we only do payouts twice a year, and you got to wait 6 more months before we pay it out.
Wow.
The lady was super ticked. She worked at this job. She's like, I worked here for 30 years. That's my money. They're like, well, we only pay it out once a year. So or twice a year. So it took her 6 months to transfer the money out. It was the craziest thing.
That's freaking wild. Wow. Well, fortunately, that's a rarity in the market. I don't want to spook any agents. That is a rarity. No. But yeah, most
4 to 6 weeks is probably average, and it could be as long as 8 weeks. But there's always some weird things. But 4 to 6 weeks is the average turnaround time.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, most of the times, what you get in a commission pop, you normally have to sell multiple policies to be able to get what you're getting in one commission there. So that's what I think you have it right in saying that, you know, your bread and butter, as you call it, right, is going to be your Medicare products, your final expense products. That's what's going to pay your bills. And then the annuities is like the icing on top of the cake, just because you're willing to ask a couple more questions while you're there.
Exactly. And you're already going into this home. You're already talking to them. You're already building a relationship with them. And I'm encouraging a lot of people to go back to their clients right now during COVID. Hey, I helped you out with this final expense policy a couple of years ago. Hey, I just want to let you know that you're still paying $26 a month. Your premium is not going to increase. And that $10,000 death benefit, COVID didn't affect it. Your $10,000 is going to be locked in at $10,000. I mean, we know that, but they don't know that. So you call up, you tell them this. By the way, I also help protect people's retirement accounts. I don't know if I told you that last time we met, but I protected your $10,000 final expense. I also protect retirement accounts. It's a great phone call to make and just uncover sales.
Yep. And I think that ultimately, like, again, one of the things that I teach in the university is how we can reach back out to our client base that we have in our CRM and utilize our technology to help reach out to them, so that if you have a large book, man, you send this out to 500 clients, even if you have, 20% of them return saying, I'm interested, that's, again, you didn't have to pay a dime to try to have these interactions and potentially make more sales and more commission while helping your clients, which is all the ultimate goal for us, right? Is we're always trying to better protect and help our clients. And this is just another way to do it. So, Todd, I really appreciate the time, man. I know you're going to have to run here in a second, but man, it's been a great talk. I think that, I want to have you on more often. We can have more conversations. The live version was acting funky, so I couldn't drop it live, but next time we'll go live. And that way, I'll give everyone a heads up so that they can be available, so they can ask questions as we're having a discussion and go even deeper into basically how to do this, how to get set up, how to get ready to become an annuity agent. I'm going to also have training that you and Rick did in the university, so that's going to be awesome as well. But it's been a pleasure. You've given us a lot to think on, and I think a lot of agents are going to be wanting to know a little bit more about how to be an annuity agent now.
Perfect. Hey, well, thanks for your time. And guys, just keep it simple. Even if you just ask the client, hey, what's your plan for retirement? Just bring it up. Yeah. And I had a guy coming over here to clean my couch. And I was talking to him. He's like, what do you do? Hey, I protect people's 401k. Oh, well, I just lost all mine. I had to get my wife in a divorce. Oh, sorry to hear about that. So we're talking, but he still had another $150,000 on the side. So you have your quick pitch. Hey, what do you do? I'm a retirement income specialist. Help me protect their 401k. You meet somebody at a soccer game. You meet someone at your kid's soccer game. You meet your neighbor across the street. You just keep it simple like that. You're going to uncover opportunities every single week, guaranteed, if you keep on and you believe that you're a retirement income specialist.
Yeah. Mindset is key. We'll talk more about that next time for sure. But man, these are great bombs that you were dropping here. Some great golden nuggets. So thanks again, Todd. And I can't wait to have you on next time. Maybe we even get Rick to join us as well. And we could just really dig deep into some of these other questions agents might have.
Perfect. Hey, we're here anytime you need us, man. Like I said, I'm 24/7. Agents can text me and call me 10 o'clock at night, and we'll help them out. So anything you need, we're here for you.
You're the man. All right. Thanks so much.
Cool. Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. If you want access to a huge discount on this proven system that gets agents writing business, increasing their revenues, and providing the ability to scale 100% over the phone, then send me a text message at 480-573-7559. This is a discount on the All Access package and applies to life and Medicare agents in the senior insurance industry. If you want access to the product knowledge, the scripts, the tools, the ongoing training, then you've found the right place at seniorsalesuniversity.com. Again, seniorsalesuniversity.com. See you on the next one.